Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing another deep dive today. And well, this one's pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah, so we're going deep into the world of international crime.
Okay.
But, this isn't the typical, uh, cops and robbers kind of chase.
Right.
This is, we're really looking at how law enforcement is fighting back against these criminal organizations. And they're doing it in a new way.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're targeting the one thing that criminals value most.
Money.
That's right, their money. And our source today is a Europol press release.
Okay.
They're detailing this massive operation that they're calling, get this, Operation Oscar?
Operation A.S.E.T?
Operation Oscar.
Catchy.
Right. And it spans 30 countries.
Wow.
Involves crazy, you wouldn't believe the sums of money.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And get this, it's still ongoing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And what struck me is just how absolutely huge this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the biggest operation of its kind that Europol has ever coordinated.
Well, that makes sense then, that it's still ongoing.
Yeah. That's got to be a logistical nightmare.
For sure.
But anyway, what makes Operation Oscar unique is its focus.
Okay. How so?
Well, instead of just, simply arresting individual criminals like you would normally think of,
Right.
they're aiming to dismantle the entire financial structure of these criminal organizations.
That's smart.
Yeah. So instead of just taking down a few foot soldiers here and there.
Which just doesn't really do much.
Yeah, exactly. They're going after the kingpin's treasure chests.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Yeah. So they're seizing their assets, money, property, even luxury goods.
Yeah.
Really hitting them where it hurts.
Right. Makes sense. So cut off the financial lifeblood of these operations.
Exactly. Cripple their ability to function. And then money laundering networks collapse. They can't pay their people. Their influence dwindles. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it all just starts to fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. It's like pulling out that bottom block in a Jenga tower.
And then the whole thing.
The whole thing
goes down.
Goes down. And get this.
What?
I was reading that Operation Oscar is also targeting assets connected to the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
So now we're getting into a whole other level of complexity.
For sure. Sanctions and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the sanctions were obviously imposed on Russia, and they were intended to, cripple their war efforts.
Right.
But they inadvertently created loopholes.
Oh, interesting.
And organized crime groups love to exploit these loopholes.
Of course, always looking for an angle.
Always. So what do you mean by loopholes? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Well, say you have these sanctioned individuals.
Okay.
They might try to move their assets through, like, these shell companies.
Okay, to hide it?
Exactly. Or they'll use cryptocurrencies to try and evade detection.
That's smart, I guess.
Right. And so criminal organizations help facilitate these transactions, and they take a cut of the profits.
So they're profiting off of this war.
Yeah, essentially. But that's where Operation Oscar comes in. They're working to identify these illicit financial flows and seize the assets connected to them.
So they're like closing those loopholes.
Exactly. And hitting these groups where it hurts their wallets.
Right. And have they had any success? Like, has this approach actually worked?
Yeah, actually, the press release highlights some pretty impressive results.
Oh, wow. Like what?
Okay, so far, they've seized 1.2 billion euros.
Wow.
That's over 1.3 billion US dollars.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
And how many arrests have they made?
Over 200 arrests so far.
Wow, those are some serious numbers. That really makes you wonder.
What's that?
Is this a new strategy? Like, have authorities tried something like this before?
Seizing criminal assets isn't totally new.
Okay.
But the scale of this,
Yeah.
And the international coordination of Operation Oscar, this is unprecedented.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really shows a commitment to tackling this transnational crime at its root.
And all of this is all very recent, right?
It is.
So what's the future of Operation Oscar?
Good question.
Is this like a short-term operation?
I don't think so.
Or is this something that's going to continue long-term?
It's expected to continue for at least several more months.
Okay.
And they'll probably continue it beyond that.
Oh, wow.
The success they're seeing, it really suggests that this kind of international cooperation is essential to tackling this kind of crime,
Yeah, transnational crime.
effectively.
So it's not just about catching a few bad guys.
No.
It's about changing the entire game.
Exactly, hitting criminals where it hurts their wallets.
And this raises a really fascinating question.
No, it's sad.
If this approach proves to be this effective, could we see similar strategies being deployed to combat other types of international crime as well?
You're thinking like human trafficking.
Yeah, or drug smuggling.
Oh, yeah.
Even cybercrime.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thought. I mean, could this be a blueprint for future law enforcement strategies?
Yeah, it could be. Well, that's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
This has been a fascinating deep dive. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I think we all learned something new today.
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right.
Okay.
See ya!